All right, folks, we're at the Henry Whitfield State Museum. This is exciting. Built in 1639, National Historic Landmark, Connecticut's oldest house. That's pretty old for us Yankees. So even though the museum is closed, I'm gonna do my best to check out the grounds, the architecture, look up the history, and maybe take a peek inside as well. There's the house. Henry Whitfield. He was straight from England, and he came here, lived here for a while, was a minister and a town leader in Guilford, and left back for England. He went back and unfortunately passed away in England while his family was still here. So I'll tell you more about him in the caption. Here's the house. There's also a visitor center, and when this place is open, it's very informative. Let's see, this house, built in 1639, was the home of Reverend Henry Whitfield, first minister and leader of the founders of Guilford, in honor of whom this tablet is here placed on the oldest stone house in New England by the Connecticut Society of the Colonial Dames of America. Marker was placed there in 1897. Oh yeah, National Park Service plaque right there. The cool wooden door. I'll read this to you. The Whitfield house has stood on this spot for nearly 4 centuries. The first stones were laid in 1639, the same year the Taj Mahal was under construction, 3 years before Isaac Newton was born, and 5 years before the end of the Ming Dynasty. It was 135 years before the American Revolution. Today, the Whitfield house is the oldest building in Connecticut and the oldest stone structure in New England. It stands not only as a tangible link to Guilford's English origins, but as a testament to the generations that followed and preserved this piece of America's history. So let's just check out some of the awesome stonework. And looks like I'm not sure if that's the original roof, but it's definitely a wood shingle, and you don't see that very often. But maybe it is the original, I could be wrong. Let's see if I can peer in one of these windows. Here's a basement latch. I think that's where it leads. Could just be a... well, I'm not gonna get much in there. That could just be an icebox. See, I'm enamored by some of this historical architecture in our state, but I'm not an expert by any means. I am a realtor, and these glass windows are double paned, so usually double pane windows you can't get through with your phone. So maybe another day I'll have to come back. The grounds here are beautiful. There's double stone walls throughout the property. Good amount of acreage. Looks to be about 4 acres around here. And this is the gem though. That is just a massive chimney. Giant. I'm not sure if it's even necessary, but wow, very impressive. And here's a well. Off in the distance you can see the visitor center. Now this well is not from the 1600s, but it says that it's from 1840, around 1840. No longer in use, of course. Almost looks like an English church, like a rectory you might find in England. Let's see, maybe you can get a better look of the inside from here. Yeah, a little better. Sunlight is better here. Everything about this place is kind of otherworldly and kind of sends you back in time. Makes you wonder about how hard life was at that period. But also how ambitious some people were to forge their own lifestyle and find their own freedoms in a different part of the world. Here he is. Here's the Reverend Henry Whitfield. It says here it was the plantation of Menuncatuck, later named Guilford. So when they settled, they must have called the locale a plantation, taken on the Indian name in this instance, Native American. Sculpted by Robert Schur, gift of John Brooke Thrillfall, 2003. So it's not that old, but they must have gone off some kind of portrait of Whitfield. But here's the visitor center. And it has a story of its own. The visitor center was originally a horse barn built in the 1870s, used by the Chittenden family and their tenants as part of the old stone house farm. The site became a state museum in 1900, and the barn was converted into a house in 1923 by the same architect who would later restore the Whitfield house, J. Frederick Kelly. Dubbed the cottage, it was used as the museum's caretaker's residence, offices, and collections storage. And this is kind of cool right here. There's a cannon that's under wraps for the moment from the War of 1812. 4-pounder iron cannon, barrel weight 1,300 pounds, projectile range 1,000 yards. Wow. Might be able to reach a street from here. Huh. Donated in 1908. So this has long been a coveted property in our state, in Connecticut, for a long time. And even this barn is touted with a placard. It seems like everything has a long story here. This building was constructed in the 1870s as a barn, workshop, and shed when the property was known as the Old Stone House Farm. It was originally located much closer to the back of the Whitfield house. During the 1930s, the Whitfield house was being restored to its 1639 appearance. Now this is pretty funny. I think the internet world will enjoy this. Segway parking. This is where you'll park your Segway. I have not seen anyone riding a Segway in a long time, except maybe on a golf course. But it is pretty good that they have Segway parking. And this is a Blue Star Museum. arts.gov/Blue Star Museums. So I'll have to look that up. Probably not many of them in America. And it looks like the coat of arms on the visitor center for Henry Whitfield and family. It appears that Henry Whitfield Museum really bought into the whole Segway fiasco. And this is Segway Xing. It's pretty funny. I gotta come back one day. Maybe there will be Segways here, but I doubt it. So one thing I didn't mention was you can go here on the grounds and you can scan these QR codes to get a tour, a virtual tour of the Whitfield house, to visit our website. They have their own website, their YouTube channel, and Facebook page. So this is a full operation here. Not many homes get this type of treatment, have their own website, at least in Connecticut. So, yeah, hope you enjoyed.